If you ask me whether we should still learn coding in 2026, my answer is a very clear yes. But here's the thing, AI has completely changed how we code today. Stuck on a bug? Open AI chat window and get help instantly. Need to build something quickly? Agentic AI can even generate most of the project for you. And yes, we are still sometimes go through documentations or Stack Overflow. The part hasn't completely disappeared yet. Because right now, we're in the transition period. It's a bit like the time when horse carriages were slowly being replaced by cars. Both still existed for a while. And during the time, knowing how to balance while riding still mattered. So maybe the real question today isn't should we still learn coding? The better question is how do we learn coding 10 times faster with AI? And that's exactly what this video is about. I will share how I personally use AI to learn Python faster in both my work and daily projects, and how you can coordinate with AI in a way that helps you improve your coding skills instead of becoming dependent on it. So by the end of this video, you know how to use AI as a learning accelerator, not a crunch. But before we talk about learning coding faster with AI, let's rewind a bit and look at how we used to learn coding before AI tools existed. Take myself as example. I started learning coding about 3 months before ChatGPT was released. Back then, my routine was pretty simple and painful. I downloaded books and read them page by page just to understand basic syntax. I watched endless YouTube tutorials, and whenever things broke, I went straight to Stack Overflow, hoping someone had already solved the same problem. After struggling for a while, I finally started building projects myself. I often went to Kaggle just to borrow project ideas. I still remember my very first machine learning project in Python, diabetes diagnosis, a very classic beginner topic. And honestly, the whole learning process was extremely time-consuming and mentally exhausting. And if you think I was unlucky, imagine how people learned coding in the early 2000s. Online resources were limited. Many people had to go through thick programming books, specialized magazines, or university courses just to get started. It reminds me of the meme, what your professor teaches versus a random Indian guy on YouTube explaining everything in 10 minutes. But even though those days are gone, it doesn't mean the suffering was meaningless. That experience actually helps me work much better with AI coding tools today. Because I'm familiar with Python IDEs, when I first tried Cursor, I wasn't intimidated at all. At the end of the day, it's just VS Code with AI built in. And debugging, that has been part of my daily life long before AI existed. So when ChatGPT or another model gives you a bad solution, fixing it doesn't feel scary. More importantly, I developed something very valuable, coder intuition. When I build a project, I understand the context, so when something goes wrong, I can quickly locate which part is causing the issue. Then I just need to feed the right context into AI with a well-structured prompt and get a good solution much faster. And this is exactly where learning AI becomes powerful. Not replacing your skills, but amplifying them. You might hear some AI native coders saying things like, learning coding doesn't matter anymore. AI writes better code than humans. But what they actually don't tell you is this. Most of them already have a solid programming foundation, and fundamentals still matter. In Python, fundamentals mean understanding things like for loops, if-else logics, functions, classes, basic data structures, and how common libraries work. Because without fundamentals, you simply cannot judge whether AI-generated solution is correct or nonsense. Last year, I actually made a tutorial about using ChatGPT to learn Python fundamentals faster. If you haven't seen it, I recommend checking it out. But let me summarize the core idea here. Step 1, clarify your goal. Do you want to do data analysis, automation, machine learning, web apps? Once you know your goal, ask an AI tool to generate a customized Python learning roadmap for you. In the first phase, focus purely on syntax and basic logic. Your roadmap should be specific, what to learn each day, and include small quizzes or exercises. Even with zero coding background, this stage usually takes around 2 weeks, depending on your pace. In stage 2, shift your attention to data wrangling, manipulation, and visualization. This is when you start learning libraries like Pandas, NumPy, and Matplotlib. Now, each of these libraries has huge documentation with tons of functions, but do you really need to learn everything? Of course not. And this is where AI helps again. Instead of drowning in documentation, ask AI to filter out the noise. Tell it your goal and ask for the most essential libraries and practical use cases. Let AI help you focus on what actually matters. And then comes the most important stage, building projects. Ask AI to stress project ideas from simple to more complex ones Pythons, ideally with data sets included. And here's the hard truth. At this stage, you'll struggle. You'll want to ask AI for answers all the time. Trust me, I've been there. But try to write the code yourself first, even if your code looks terrible at the beginning. This messy phase is unavoidable. Every coder goes through this, and this is how you build intuition. Trust yourself. Once you push through this stage, you'll not only understand Python better, but you'll also know how to work with AI much more efficiently. But what if you simply cannot hold on? After all, AI is the fastest lane to get things done today. And I totally understand why many coders now stop writing code themselves and let AI handle most of it. AI has made code incredibly cheap to produce, so it's tempting to trade your critical thinking for speed. But personally, as data engineer, I don't want to look completely lost in my next job interview just because AI wrote everything for me. I remember once getting stuck on a task at work where I had to transform a hierarchical table into a flat structure so it could be merged with another dataset. Instead of asking AI to generate the full solution, I tried something different. I asked AI only for hints. What functions might help? What steps I should follow? What logic I should consider? Then I tried implementing the solution myself. This way, I practiced prompt engineering and logical thinking at the same time. One stone, two birds. Only when I truly reach my limits do I go back to AI and ask it to generate the full code. But here's the important part. Don't just copy-paste AI code into your IDE. I usually break the code down, understand the structure, read it line by line, and check whether there are new libraries or better ways to handle edge cases. And that's how AI's knowledge becomes your knowledge. Instead of replacing your thinking, AI becomes a learning accelerator. So now you're learning new functions and methods from AI. That's great, but have you ever wondered why some people's projects always look more advanced than yours? Maybe your code runs and technically it works, cool, but there are too many for loops, things are not vectorized, runtime is slow, and the code becomes harder to maintain as the project grows. And this is where AI becomes extremely powerful for code optimization. Let me use my daily work as an example. Usually, I design the architecture, build data pipelines, and write Python scripts step by step. Extraction, transformation, loading, mostly without AI, unless I'm stuck on something tricky. But once the pipeline is working, I often bring AI in to optimize the whole code base. Before AI stepped in on one of my projects, parts of the codes were fragile, some functions behaved inconsistently, logic was scattered, and the pipeline wasn't stable. After running code optimization with AI, the project became robust, stable, repeatable, and much faster. And the most valuable part, what I learned from it, things like proper error handling, logging, modular code design, CI/CD concepts, using classes to build reusable components. It only took me a few minutes to write structured prompts to get solutions that would normally require hours of researching through documentation or forums. And once you learn these patterns, you can immediately apply them to your next project, which suddenly looks 10 times better. That's how AI accelerates not just execution, but your growth as coder. Once you've built a project yourself and fully understand the context, I think it's completely fine to delegate extra work to AI. Let me tell you the reality from my daily work as data engineer. After project goes live, I probably spend only about 20 to 30% of my time actually coding. Most of the time, I'm maintaining pipelines, running queries for stakeholders, and handling new requests. Business analysts often ask for additional features or adjustment in the output. And more, I feel like my role is becoming a kind of a translator. I translate business needs expressed in natural human language into technical solution, often with the help of AI. At this stage, I really write long and complex code snippets from scratch. Instead, my focus is on how to integrate AI-generated code smoothly into the existing code base, making sure nothing breaks and everything still works as expected. And this is why I don't believe coders will be replaced by AI, but our roles are definitely evolving and evolving fast. The value is shifting from writing every line of code yourself to understanding systems, context, and integration. I do think it's worth trading part of the old way of coding for new AI skills, but at the same time, critical thinking and logical thinking will always be valuable, no matter which era we're in. So I hope this video gives you some inspiration on how to learn coding faster with AI, while still building real skills and finding the right balance between thinking for yourself and working with AI. So keep coding, keep learning, and I will see you in the next video.